Hello, and welcome to episode number 8 of Boutique Talk. My name is Jake Boston, otherwise known as Steelbook Obsessed on all your major social media platforms. And if you want to listen to all things physical media related, then you've come to the right place. Every week I have on a new guest to talk about their collecting journey. And today, my guest is one of the most unique voices that pops up on my social media feed, and his video production skills make me smile every time he posts something new. Let's give it up for VHS Mikey. How's it going, Mikey?
Yeah!
Good applause. Yes. Very good. What is going on, man?
Oh, man, I just thought I'd come on and hang out. I've never been on a Steelbook show, so I'm super excited. I just started getting into Steelbook, so hopefully I'll learn a thing or two while I'm here.
Yeah, no, that's very nice and cool to hear. I didn't know if you were like only VHS stuff because that's in your name, or if you're like all things physical media.
I like all things physical media, but I have mostly VHS just because that's what I'm nostalgic about. But I'm kind of getting where I want some other stuff too now. I feel like I scratched that VHS itch and I'm ready to explore some new areas.
Right. I think you and I are at the complete like opposite spectrum. Like I only started collecting VHS maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. It's just because of what I remembered when I was a kid. I always wanted like the best of the best, like that you can physically get, or just picture and sound and all that quality stuff. But there's something interesting and unique about popping a VHS tape in and just kind of being brought back to that time frame.
Yeah, I actually prefer the look and sound on old movies. I don't like new movies as much on VHS, although I buy them because they're nice collector pieces. But I do prefer new movies to be on the newer formats, and anything from the 80s or early 90s, I definitely want on VHS. So
yeah, we have a couple subject points to talk about today, but I think the movie Street Trash, I wish I would have watched on VHS because I think that's supposed to look as messy as possible.
it looks so much better on VHS because sometimes a scan could be too clear, or it could be cleaned up too well, and you could start seeing the prosthetic effects and the zippers and all that stuff not looking as good.
Yeah.
And when they were throwing the peen around later in the movie, I was like, well, that doesn't look as good on the Blu-ray, but it looks great on my little CRT that I have next to me.
Right. I have the Synapse Films Blu-ray of Street Trash, and it looked too clean at times. Like the transfer is phenomenal on this thing. For a movie called Street Trash, I was just like, it should not look this crystal clear.
Yeah, I brought the tape.
Oh, very nice, man. Yeah, that looks awesome.
And it's a video store copy, so I'm a fan of that.
Right. I have a few of those in my collection, the mom and pops. I love getting a mom and pop VHS tape for sure. Just adds, just like, oh, hey, this came from here. That's kind of cool.
I'm going to need my horse. If I get to shaking a little bit, I'm always nervous at first when I first start out a show, and I learned, my friend showed me that if I bring my horse with me, then it does all the shaking instead of me. So,
well, no, and it looks great with your background, your setup, everything. It doesn't stand out at all.
Good.
Yeah.
Hopefully, but I'll just use it as long as I need it.
Sure. Well, before we do anything, since we're talking about VHS, I pulled like a few random like tidbits. Like, hey, I remember when I watched this as a kid. Since we're gonna start talking about you, I'll just I'll throw an intro in here.
And now we're pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
I've heard that hundreds of times in my childhood.
I was trying to get well, you had that up. I was trying to get a puppet out of the little corner so I can kind of work them there, but I couldn't get them out in time.
So on your channel, you have a lot of like very unique aspects that every time a video pops up, I watch it. Do you make those puppets, or do you find them? Like,
on this puppet, I did purchase this puppet from, but it's a puppet maker. He's on Etsy. He does excellent work. Cool. I used to make my own, but they do not look as good as his, so I started buying his instead.
If you're listening to this, watching this, you should subscribe to VHS Mikey. I have his YouTube link in the description. Totally worth going down a rabbit hole with his stuff. He makes very high quality content. It looks like you take hours upon hours editing this stuff.
I'm going to go hide, man. That's too much praise. I'm going to go hide. Okay. I'm feeling better though. I don't think I need my horse as much now.
Okay, good. But he's right there if you need him, right?
Yeah, he's there if I need him.
Okay. Well,
I
since
also
just
bought
introduced-
balloons if anybody has any requests in chat of any balloon animals they might want.
Do you do that? Do you make balloon animals and such?
Oh, very poorly. I got a VHS tape on how to make balloon animals, and I was like, so I watched it and I was like, I got to learn how to make this stuff. So I kind of jumped right to it.
Yeah, no, I can make a good snake, and that's about it.
Hey, that's all you need, man.
Well, we do have a few people in chat. Let's throw them up here. Yeah, very good. Okay. Have I seen the steelbook for Mothra? I have. It looks phenomenal. All of those monster movie steelbooks that come out more often than not look great. The strike is finally over. I heard that. The WGA they closed. Thank God. That took forever. Or not the WGA, the Actors Guild. Sorry. WGA already did months ago. Yeah.
I just want everybody up making movies again, because if the longer it takes them to make it, the longer it's going to be before we get new stuff. So
correct.
I'm glad. Hopefully they can get all that worked out.
Yeah, I know. I think the main one that comes to my mind right now is Dune Chapter 2 is supposed to come out this month, and they pushed it all the way back to either like March or April of next year.
Yeah, we don't want the characters in their 40s trying to play teenagers and stuff.
No, thank you. How's it going, Collector Movie Man? Strike is finally over. Yep. Oh, happy days. Are either of you into the YouTube channel Dead Meat? Yeah, I do watch some Dead Meat.
Yeah, Dead Meat's amazing. I think he does a very good job. He has a very pleasant voice, and I think he knows his stuff. So
I did look to see if he made an episode on Street Trash, and he has not yet, unfortunately.
Oh, man, that bums me out. I would love to watch that.
One of these days. Mikey is a tapinator. Yes, he is. Absolutely.
What's up, Rob? That's one of my buddies.
Very nice. Well, pleasure to have you on here, man. And let's start with your origins of collecting. How did it start? Did it start with movies? And if it didn't, what was it? And how did you go to movies?
Well, I'm as old as VCRs have been around. And as a kid, I was really poor, so I didn't have my own, but I would go over to my buddies and watch all his movies. And he would, he'd always have the sickest, darkest, most twisted stuff in the world. And that was kind of my gateway. And, I collected all the way up until, I think I was 16 when I finally started dipping out, chasing girls, kind of lost track of collecting for a while. Got into the YouTube thing. And I had a nostalgia channel for the longest time covering stuff like My Pet Monsters and Rainbow Bright and stuff like that. And while we were out on a haul, I ran across a TV VCR combo that my buddy George showed me.
The best.
And I dropped down to my knees and I was just all amazed by it. And I popped a tape in it and I got blasted by VHS gamma rays. And I saw my whole future ahead of me, what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And before you know it, my entire house was full of tapes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've been lucky enough to find a TV VCR combo as well, and there's nothing better. I wanted one of those so badly as a kid, and I never got one.
I always keep one right here on the little corner of my desk here, so when I'm working, I can just pop a tape in, a little background noise.
Yeah, even on those tube TVs, when you press the power on and that magical hum comes on,
awesome.
Man, the static electricity going all over the screen makes my heart aflutter. Absolutely.
It brings me great joy. And I don't know, I just can't imagine my life without tapes or any kind of physical media for that matter. Although I am new to steelbooks. I just picked up my first one. I'm really excited about it. It's for the Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem.
Yes.
So I'm like, that's right up my alley. I'm a big Ninja Turtle mark. So
right.
Can't wait to jump into that world.
I don't have it with me, but after the stream, I'll have to show you. I have one for the original TMNT, and it looks like the original poster artwork. But there's a thing, I don't know if you know this about steelbooks. There's something called embossing, which makes part of the image kind of pop out on the steelbook.
Oh, that's awesome.
It has them like popping out of the sewer grates. It looks phenomenal.
Does it have any kind of like, do they have, well, I always love a good gimmick with anything. So it already sounds like something I'm going to get into. A prime example is this VCR jack-o'-lantern tape. It might,
great.
It's basically just an hour of jack-o'-lantern footage. But what makes it special is when you rub it, it smells like pumpkin spice. So, I've never seen a physical media that had a smell to it. So
no,
and it kind of makes your VCR from the heat of the VCR. You kind of smell it while it's playing.
Like a pumpkin spice latte warming up or something, pouring out. Huh? That's
So,
a newer
but
tape, right? I
I'll
think
show
I saw
you.
somebody else have
Yeah,
that,
this
right?
is Lunch Meat puts these out. They're brand
Okay.
new VH for people that are worried about physical media going away. It's your first time, I get it. But VHS has the people. Okay, sorry. The people in a lot smaller companies have
Yeah.
continued to carry the torch all these years. So your physical media is never going to go away.
Right.
DVD
Boutique
guys
label.
are, yeah, you'll be
Right.
good.
I guess that's an avenue I didn't even think about talking with you, Mikey. Boutique labels in the VHS space. I know that they are plentiful with Blu-rays, 4Ks, all that stuff. How do they look in the VHS realm? Because I have not dipped my toes into that pond yet.
Oh, I just picked up Terrifier 2 and a bunch of other cool stuff on VHS. So they're looking great.
What kind of companies? Because I guess Umbrella, when they made that big like This Is Art Terrifier set, it came with Terrifier and VHS. And I bought like a dupe copy. I think I have that right here. A dupe copy of Maniac that I found, and like
Oh, that's awesome.
The box is kind of like sticky almost. Like it's not a well-made dupe, but I just wanted it because I don't have it in my collection. And the VHS tape, if you find the original one, is way too expensive for me to pay that price.
Oh, I believe Scream Team Releasing has tapes occasionally. Sometimes Full Moon still puts out tapes. Lunch Meat VHS, Retro Release Video, Black Video, Broke Horror Show, Witter Entertainment. There's so many companies still putting out tapes. So you can, I mean, if you don't want old crusty tapes, there's plenty of new ones you can pick up.
There's nothing wrong with old crusty tapes, but it is cool that people are still making VHS tapes today. Makes my heart warm, that's for sure.
Well, hopefully that alleviates any worries people have, because I've seen literally every physical media company this month be like, oh, that's it. Best Buy's closing down. We don't have physical media anymore. And I'm like, dude, you'll be all right. Trust me. If someone will carry that torch.
Right. No, it kind of feels like, I mean, it already felt last year, like physical media is becoming more and more niche. I mean, whenever I post anything with my stuff that goes semi-viral, the majority of comments are like, oh, you still collect movies? Why don't you stream them? It's just like, okay, this isn't for you. And that's fine.
This isn't for you.
Right.
There's
and
no getting through to that person.
I'm not rude. I'm never rude. They can have their 2 cents or anything, but I'm just like, okay, this is the main reason why it's going out of retail, because the common person doesn't have this stuff anymore.
That's what the studio wants from you. They want you to be dependent on them. They want to be landlords to you. They want to control what you watch, when you watch, and how long you get to watch it for. And I can't live like that. When I want to watch something, I want to be able to reach in and put it in right away. I don't want to go, oh, which network is it on? Oh, they pulled it. Oh, well, it's not available in my region. Hell, I was wanting to watch the Evolution cartoon the other day. I didn't have a VHS for it, but I had it on digital. So I was like, I'll watch the Evolution cartoon. It is now no longer available in my region. So that's stupid. I paid for it and I can't watch it. That's silly.
Right. They're like one of my comfort food TV shows is The Adventures of Pete and Pete. And that's not streaming anywhere, but I have all of the seasons on DVD because I absolutely love that show.
Oh, I should have brought some. I have some tapes, but I only have a handful of those.
Sure. Yeah. Nickelodeon tapes are the main ones that come to my mind as a child, just craving everything they had because they had those nice neon orange tapes. Like there's nothing better than that to me.
Oh, orange tapes, man. Oh, they bring me so much joy. There's just something magical about orange tapes. And I get sad because even Nickelodeon don't even stick with their own gimmick. And sometimes you'll pull a Nick tape out, it's black or it's yellow. I'm like, no, dude, they got to be orange. What are you doing?
Right.
I think it has to do with I think it's when Paramount kind of took over, they started switching more to the black tapes, because I noticed that a lot of my Paramount labeled ones are black instead of orange, and it kind of it isn't all of them, but I noticed they have more like that.
Yeah, I found like a Jimmy Neutron tape, and that one was black. I'm like, this just it doesn't hit the same for sure. One of the weird VHS things that I have, speaking of colored tapes, I found all of these like Toon Buddies. And they're just like, whatever. Like
I don't know what that is, but it looks awesome.
Well, these should be recycled. But the main reason why I got them is because they all have different colored VHS tapes on them.
I think they look cool.
Yeah. I mean, these look crazy late 90s, early 2000s. And like the guy on the back playing all the instruments looks insane.
Yeah, I love it. I thought you said you didn't have any cool tapes. I'm into all those.
I don't know if Toon Buddies is the coolest. I just got
those
them
are
because
the
they're very
coolest.
cool colored.
Let's see. I got something musical. Let me look.
Well, while you're looking, I guess I'll ask a question that you can ponder about. Where do you find your tapes at the moment?
Well,
I
I've
guess
been
I know
really
we talked about the boutique labels, but on your average week, like what places do you hit up?
Well, I've been really lucky. I've been able to raid a few closing video stores in my neighborhood. We had one just close. I think it was 2 years ago. I always say it's a year ago, but it's been two now. And they said, Mikey, come on down. You're the only one that was ever written anything. So, they let me pick through all their tapes, and I literally left with as many as I just kept bringing them back. I walk everywhere, so I was rolling this suitcase up there every day, getting me filling it up and taking it home, walking back up, filling it back up, going home. And I found another video store, and I rated it too. And now people kind of know I'm the tape guy, and I live in a small town, so they just leave them on my porch. A lot of time they're moldy and crappy, but
Still.
yeah, I mean, it's still nice to see those gifts when you come home. A big old sack of tapes to go through.
Right.
So I have more than enough tapes, and I haven't had to search for them as much as you would think.
No, I mean that's one good word to the wise. Like if you collect physical media, let as many people know that you collect physical media as possible, because the majority of the time people are getting rid of that stuff. And I've had so many people that I work with give me their collections of stuff because they're like, I'm just going to throw it away or give it to Goodwill. So I'd rather give it to you. I'm like, I will absolutely take it.
Unfortunately, people see these stupid articles where they think tapes are like, they'll see it, a Disney tape is worth like $1 million or something.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, and now they're getting stingy. They don't want to leave me anything anymore. They're like, oh, I could pay off my house with that. I'm like, dude, you're never going to be able to pay off your house with that. Nobody wants that shit.
Right.
So, oh, well,
Yeah,
what can
those
you do?
articles, I see them pop up now and again. Like I feel like it's been years. Like every 3 months, it just the same article pops up again, and the same discussion happens. And yeah, the Disney clamshells got produced so widely that those are not going to be worth anything anytime soon.
I mean, buy them if you love Disney. That's the only way. Again, I'm also going to say that if you get into VHS collecting or any kind of physical media, make sure you're only picking up what you like. I made the mistake of just taking everything. Luckily, I have plenty of room here. It's just me here. I don't have anyone I got to try to fight space with. I don't have to fight with an angry girlfriend that's like, oh, you can't have tapes in the living room. So it's been fine for me. But my advice is make sure you only pick up stuff you want, because there's only so much room in your life, and I don't want you to feel. Go ahead.
Have you ever done a VHS Cribs inspired video of just like going through all the tapes that you have?
Oh, I haven't done one of my own crib, but I totally should.
That would be amazing, because I have a family. I've got a wife and kids. If I brought this stuff from my basement upstairs, she would not like it one bit. My kids would throw them all over anyway. So it'd be very cool to see just how the layout of your house works and how your collection kind of ebbs and flows through it.
Oh yeah, I'm mostly buried in it. Like even my bedroom, like I'll be sleeping, I'll wake up and there'll be like VHS tapes laying on my head. I don't know what happens during the night, but just kind of shift around in my room.
Gives you good insulation, that's for sure.
Unless I got giant tape crabs, like there's crabs living inside them, and they're just like scuttling over me in the middle of the night. I need a tape crab puppet. I don't have one, but I really want to build one.
Yes, a tape crab. I don't even know what that would look like, but I need to know what that would look like coming from your mind, Mikey. Absolutely.
I joke about them all the time, but I just use a little rubber crab. But I would like to build an actual, working animated one that I can, do whatever I want with, marinade around.
Sure. So
I got my start in puppets. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. How many tapes do you think you have in your collection currently? If you had to give like a ballpark guess.
Probably $3,000.
Yeah.
3,000 maybe. Probably more in the basement. I got a lot of DVDs in the basement because they store a little easier.
Yeah.
Tapes are very climate controlled. I cannot have them anywhere they're going to mold. You got to treat them like cheese.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit earlier, but I found my first moldy tape in my collection, and I had a panic attack. I'm like, I got to take you out. I have to isolate you. I don't want to throw it away because I feel bad about it. Because it was Joyride. It was either Joyride or Wrong Turn, like one of the horror movies. Any horror movie that I have to throw away,
a bummer.
I feel very bummed about. Like if it was just your run of the mill, whatever. If it was a Titanic, I would not care. But any horror VHS tape, I'm just like, I can't throw you away.
I would send him to Titanic fan 97. I love what he does, that he's just obsessed with Titanic tapes. Somebody has to, so might as well give them to him, you know?
No,
I
and
don't
he's
want
gone
them.
to like he's gone to like Comic-Cons and stuff. I think he asked Kevin Smith about Titanic, and yeah, just the way that he has grown that channel and his collection in that room is insane.
I always respect the hustle, man.
Right.
I know a lot of guys that just collect one thing. And so I have a couple tapes I collect a lot of, but I kind of stopped because of space.
No, I think I have between like 500 or 600 tapes, and I'm running out of room for that. Because I also have a collection of close to 2,000 Blu-rays. I'm just like, there's not enough room. And VHS tapes take up way more room than
so you can get a lot more Blu-ray for your buck.
Correct.
Yeah. I'm always jealous of anyone with skinnier sleeves like that. I'm like, man, I wish I had that space.
But there's something about just a spine of a VHS tape. It pops so much better than like a Blu-ray or DVD does.
Oh yeah, and people like when you got company, they love pulling them out and being like, oh, first they feel like they're scared to touch them. Like, no, go ahead. That's what they're there for, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't build a video store in my living room so that you wouldn't touch them.
Right. No, I've had like family members over here for different occasions, and when they come downstairs, the first thing they see is this. And they're like, oh my God, you have so many movies. And if they keep on venturing through, I have a VHS room. And that's when their jaw kind of drops like, I didn't know that people still collected these, or I haven't seen these in 20 years. Like, it's fun to see their memories of VHS tapes whenever they see them again.
Yeah, there's just something magic about them. Oh, back to what we were saying about the musical thing. I have a U-on kazoo.
Oh my goodness. Wait, I'm gonna make you big again.
I'm sure you guys are familiar with this famous meme. A lot of people don't realize a lot of these memes come from tapes.
Sure.
And so I love collecting any tape that's became a meme. It makes it even better. These go for quite a lot for some reason. I don't know why that is.
Because they're wholly unique, yeah. And I there's just something about that I think meme culture has definitely helped VHS tapes, especially those oddities like that, kind of skyrocket because they kind of want to find the next meme, or they want just more of that in their life. Yeah, I can see why. But let's see here. We're talking more about video cassettes. So I'm going to show an intro of where we talk about that, because again, this one brings me back as well.
Now available on video cassette.
That was on so many Disney tapes.
I got the sound effect. Wait, I think. Or something similar.
Very similar, yeah. Man, you're coming good with the sound effects. I need more of those in my life. That's amazing.
No, I've been... Go ahead.
No, anytime I hear VHS jingles, it just makes me so happy. Like I have one more here, but I don't have a good reason to play it. I'll just play it here because this one is probably the most epic one I've heard, and the one that like I was almost scared of when I heard it at first, just because it's so like in your face with its jingle. Here, I'll just play it here. That one makes like the sphincter clench up for me. I was like, oh God, okay.
Yeah, it makes my heart all.
Warner Brothers means business. Okay, got it.
Yeah, the art of the intro is important. It's one of my favorite part of putting in tapes is the first like 15 or maybe 5 minutes of previews and trailers like that and bumpers. Oh man, that gets me more excited than even the movie sometimes. I don't know why I'm so jittery today, extra jittery today.
No, it's all good. Yeah. Shake that pony, man. That's what it's there for. No, I'm right there with you. Anytime I pop in an old VHS tape or DVD, I love going through the trailers just to be like, okay, this is what they were trying to advertise, and have I heard of it? And how many times have I seen this trailer? And I've seen the trailer more than the movie. Like, it's just fun to go back.
Oh, 100%, dude. I feel like I should show you another thing.
Sure. Digging in his pile of tapes, finding something really good.
I don't know if it's something good. I feel like I'm going to lose your audience here, but let's rap about fire safety.
That is amazing.
It has some terrible rhymes in it, and it's very, very, very 90s. Allstate put these out. I don't know if you've ever seen Seymour Smoke. He was voiced by Gilbert Godfrey.
I have not, no.
This was the spin-off of that, and it's not nearly as good.
Oh my God. Allura, I had no idea it was even a thing. That's amazing. How many of those Let's Rap tapes did they have?
Well, there's Let's Rap About Fire Safety, and there's Be Cool About Fire Safety, which I forgot to bring, but
okay,
it's not as funny, but it's better because as Gilbert Godfrey as a smoke detector yelling at kids, so
absolutely,
it brings me great joy, and it's a puppet, so
right.
I'm on board with that.
Mm-hmm. See, I never find anything like quite like that. I think the closest thing I have to like a learn this, kids, is like a license to skate boardwalk.
That is badass. You said you didn't have any good tapes. You've been showing me nothing but fire.
I'm definitely showing you the highlights now because there's not a lot of them. It's just this for the people listening. It's just purely 93 aesthetic with like the wavy lines over his body, learning how to do wheelies and 180s and nose heavies and all the fun stuff.
Oh, it says bumping on the front. That's awesome.
Right. Yeah, that's about
Dude,
all I have.
that brings me so much joy.
Right. Yeah, no, me too. And the main thing about like all of these all of these like how-to ones is that they are not long. Like this was before the internet was a thing. So if you wanted any niche subject matter, you would go to VHS tapes. Like that skateboarding one was 30 minutes long. There are so many VHS tapes that are less than an hour.
My brother was a skateboarder, and I was always jealous because he got to be on a skate video, and it was like his claim to fame. Like when he'd meet chicks, he'd be like, I was on a skate video. I'm like, God damn, dude, why can't I be the cool brother? I'm the kid with the pony. It's not working out for me.
Do you remember what skate video it was?
It was called Fadtastic.
Nope. Haven't even heard of it.
It probably doesn't. It doesn't have Bam or anyone cool on it or anything.
Right.
It's just like late 80s tape, maybe.
Yeah. No, the CKY ones and like the girl skateboarding ones are like the main two that I watched a lot of as a kid.
Were you a skater?
I was not, but I love skateboarding culture. I was terrible skating, I had a couple friends that liked it, and I just kind of I love the whole like camaraderie of skateboarding, and I always thought it was a very cool sport. Plus, I was very into Tony Hawk, so that helped out a lot.
I was more of a pogo ball kind of guy. Like, I don't know if you remember those. They had like a ring with a ball on it.
Yep.
I'm still pretty sick on one. I used to be able to do a flip, but I've gotten too fat. So now I just bust my ass.
Sure. No, those pogo balls. Oh my God. Yeah. No, I was a scooter kid. Like scooters were the new thing when I was like, okay, I think I can ride something with two wheels.
That I'm smoking myself out.
I can stop on it very easily. Yeah.
Sometimes my vents take the smoke out really easy, and sometimes they do not, and then I get all choked out by this shit.
If you need to turn it off, by all means,
I did.
Man, yeah. Here, let's go over. We have a few more comments that popped up here. Sent forward in time to bring VHS to Tapezoids everywhere.
I'm going to be on Rob's show in a couple days, so I'm looking forward to getting reunited. I haven't got to hang out with him in a while, so
yeah. Well, I guess that's something we can touch on before we talk about more tapes. I'm more into like the Blu-ray, the more like common collecting stuff for physical media. I dip my toe in randomly into the VHS pool, but I feel like there is just so many different nuggets you can dive into with VHS.
Well, I used to think that VHS was the only cool things until I saw my buddy's insane Blu-ray collection, and he was showing me like he has a turtle tape with like a scratch and sniff card with it, and I was like, okay, I think I'm getting into these. I think I'm gonna open the gates and let these in my heart as well.
Right.
He kind of sold me on them. So
yeah, that one got put out through Umbrella Entertainment pretty recently, like a few months ago, and they by far come out with the best like physical goodies for tapes. Like they came out with a nice beefy box set for Razorback.
Razorback's awesome.
Yeah, and they came with like a figure of a Razorback with like the nice like old 80s packaging and everything. It just they come out with very cool goodies. That's for dang sure.
Yeah, I dig retro style packaging. Even if it doesn't have a tape in it, but I like it even more if there's a tape and a Blu-ray or something. That's even cooler. I'll pay the extra money,
Right. Yeah, that This Is Art collection that I was talking about. It came with Terrifier 1 and 2 and All Hallows Eve, that anthology film that had art. But then it also came with like the glasses he wears in Terrifier 2, and it came with a VHS tape of the first Terrifier. Just a very cool set. Like something that for people who love to collect all things physical media, that is like pinnacle. especially two different formats. In the
I should have brought all my Terrifier stuff.
Yeah, I got a bunch as well. Yeah. You're
Oh,
debating?
yeah, I was just going to read your comment here for you.
Yeah, you go for it.
I said you don't have a VCR, but I was just thinking, if you go down local thrift store, you can usually get one for like $5, and sometimes you can even talk them down. You're like, dude, no one's gonna ever buy this, and they're like, all right, it's yours for like $1 or something.
Right.
So even if it barely plays, it should be good enough.
I like to go thrifting quite a bit. I just get a lot of joy doing that. And you can either find the VHS by itself or the DVD player by itself. I feel like those combo ones get snatched up pretty quickly.
Oh man, yeah, they're my favorite. Even though a lot of the big VCR heads, they're not the best way to play tapes. They're usually mono sound, and they're not the best. But I find it just the easy use, like having it. I can put this on the corner of my desk and just sort of forget about it.
So are there VHS or VCR snobs in the community? I have
Yes.
not. How does that go? When I think of VCRs or VHS format at all, I just think of, okay, this is already going to be like what, 480p max?
Well, what happens is it's a very old community, and there's a lot of new blood. And when I came back, I was considered a new blood. So
Right.
I did not have an easy entry into that world. I didn't even know other people were collecting. And I learned there was these groups, and I was all excited to meet new people, and they just roasted the shit out of me because I didn't know what I was doing. And of course, you get to know them, and you were just the new guy, so they had to harass you. And you learn they're all pretty cool, but you just got to get to know them and get through the prickliness. And then after a while, they're all become your buddies, and you kind of roast them back. So, but I think there's snobs in any community. So I don't think it's exclusive to just VHS guys.
Right. Yeah, I don't have a high-end 4K player or anything. I play it out of my Xbox, and there are so many people that are like, oh, you can't even tell me the quality of this picture because you're playing it out of a game system. I was like, okay, I'll let you yell into the void there, my sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's go back into some random VHS tapes that I have. I will
cool.
try
I'm
to
excited.
I'll try to go tit for tat with you as long as I can, but I know you're going to outrun me. So let's start with you first.
Okay.
What's the next tape you want to pull out?
All right, this might not seem very important, but it's called the Rejuvenate, and it's a facial toning system.
Oh, geez.
It has this doe-full-eyed gal on the front, and it's the same art on the back. So, like, what's special about that? Well, the toning system itself is this creepy mask.
You have the mask with it.
And it has all the metal pins, and you plug in. I didn't bring the box because I didn't want to short out my mic, but basically it gives you electric shocks.
Wow.
And I didn't think they would be that powerful, but man, one of these little metal pins was getting me like right in the nose hole. And man, I was really feeling it, and it was making me nervous that I was going to have like a mark or something, but I just love it. It's a nice little piece of oddity, the Rejuvenate.
That kind of reminds me, I don't know if you've seen the movie Totally Killer yet on Amazon Prime. That looks like that mask.
It looks a lot like that. I agree.
Yeah. And I also just watched Five Nights at Freddy's. Like the inside of that mask kind of looks like something that you would go into in those freaking mannequins.
It's like Michael Myers in the streets and Jason in the sheets.
Very much so. Well, I don't even know what to show off now. I guess I will show this just because the format of VHS has a lot of like dead media on it. Like only certain movies got released on VHS. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that's a bad thing. I don't know if we would ever need to see Backfield in motion in high quality.
I don't know what that is.
Roseanne Barr, Tom Arnold.
Okay.
I've never heard of this thing in my life either. But looking at both of them with football stuff on, I'm okay if I don't watch this, even though I'm kind of intrigued. It's one of those.
Oh, she's looking like a smoke show right there, man. I'm on board with that.
I'm just glad she's wearing 89 instead of 69. I feel like Roseanne would be like straight up 69 material. But something weird about this VHS is that like it has 2 movies on it, which is very bizarre. I've never heard of Baby Cakes, but I always show this side off just because it looks so dang bizarre.
I don't know. I think it's great. I think I would definitely fall into the special interest category for sure.
Right. Yeah. The other movie has Ricky Lake in it when she was an actress for a couple of years or whatever.
I want to see that Ricky Lake movie. That sounds cool.
Yeah. Ricky Lake, Baby Cake. When it comes to love, she's out to prove that you can have your cake and eat it too. Jesus.
Oh man, I would eat cake and watch that. It looks amazing.
There you go. Okay.
I don't know why the tape's not in here, but I must have been
Aw.
playing it.
Mhm.
But this is the Power Rangers Karate Club. And I actually learned a really sweet jump, or like a jump kick from this that I still like to do to show off. Although, again, I'm getting kind of big, so I'm not kicking as high as I used to kick.
So
But-
it was just like how to learn karate. Was it from anybody in Power Rangers?
It was Jason David Frank.
Oh, wow.
God bless his heart. I miss him a lot.
Yeah.
And it sucks that he struggled with depression and all that stuff, but I can relate to that. So
Right.
there's something just special about it. It's weird that he's wearing red instead of his signature green, but I
Mhm.
mean, he wore red later in the series, so that might be why.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just love it so much. It's not as funny as much as it brings me kind of a heartwarming joy to it.
Sure. No, absolutely. I was a big Power Rangers fan as a kid as well. I dressed up for one of them as Halloween, just like millions of other kids. Yeah. No, that if the White Ranger taught me anything, I would be 1,000% down. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, it's an amazing tape, and I recommend it to anybody that's into martial arts or just miss Jason David Frank a lot.
Right. No, absolutely. This one is on a random side tangent, I guess. I want to say that this was to help persuade people to go on vacation to Disneyland, Disney World. It's the 1998 vacation video, Disney Institute.
There's actually some really good spa footage in there. Like this girl's just working it in the spa. I love that tape, by the way. It is a blast. I love that tape from beginning to end. Everything about it.
This is still sealed, so I have not seen it yet. I bought it for 50 cents. I still have the tape or the sticker on it right there.
Lots of old lady spa footage.
Oh boy. Man, sign me up.
It's kind of funny. It's like a workshop for rich people to pretend they're poor. Like they teach them how to garden and stuff.
Oh, Jesus.
Like this is what the poors do.
I have to do things with my hands.
All right, let's see what I got here. If you're going to work in a garden, you're going to want to get buffed. So I brought the Marky Mark workout.
Yes, let's go.
This thing is a blast. He's kind of a dick to one of his stagehands. Like his stagehand goes to give him a high five in a scene. He's like, "Don't touch me," pretty much.
Oh, really?
And I'm
that got
surprised
left
they
on the
kept
tape?
that in there. Yeah, they
Oh,
kept
my
it in
God.
there.
Of course.
And you could just see the guy die inside. He's just like, oh, the pain is there. The pain is there. But it's a really funny tape. I can't do any of the exercises in it. Apparently, it's for buff people, but
Sure.
I still like to try these from time to time. Sometimes I get workout crazy, like I'll have an ADHD thing where I want to get in shape again.
Mhm.
And I just start busting out all my exercise tapes.
Yeah, I mean, you got Power Rangers Karate, you got Marky Mark. I bet you have even more to show off.
I do. I got okay. I love special interest exercise tapes, especially.
Absolutely. I have not been able to find one of those in the wild. That's for sure. I found so many Tybos. I will tell you that much. Oh my God. Those are
Tybo, that's awesome.
You could fill a landfill with those Tybos that I found. Oh my God.
Get your Billy Blanks on.
Absolutely. Yes. I was big into video games as a kid, and I still remember going to Toys R Us and having advertised to me that, hey, if you fill this out and put this in, we'll send you a VHS tape of some like game footage. Because in the 90s, again, no internet, very hard to find. So I have a few of these. I'll show probably my favorite one off first, because why not? I got the Banjo Kazooie.
Oh man,
tape.
I'm jealous of that. That's nice.
Looks very, very cool. Yeah, I
remember
collected
those. Yeah.
Before I collected movies like this, I collected video games. And when I went to somebody's lot, they were selling a bunch of these. So I found, Banjo Kazooie is like, one of my favorite video games of all time. And you could get this if you reserved a copy of $10 or more. So reserve the copy, get a tape, and watch some people play game footage, get super hyped up for when the movie actually comes out, or when the game comes out.
I've been eyeballing those, but they're always a little higher than I'm wanting to spend on them. And I'm still that old guy that's like doesn't want to spend more than $5 on a tape.
Correct.
But unfortunately, I've had to shell out some bucks on some titles.
Yeah, I mean that scratch and sniff sticker isn't cheap on that jack-o'-lantern tape.
Yeah, lunch meat tapes are not cheap, but they're well worth it because it's just nice. They're really good. They're brand new, so they look great and sound great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a little white hair and I've had it since I was 19 and it was really embarrassing back in the days.
Mm.
So I wanted to feel confident with who I was. So I got me silver foxes too.
Oh my goodness. Shape up, America.
All these geriatric people getting buff, but which are probably my dating age now that I think about it. They probably look older than they are. You know? They're
Man,
probably
that
like
mustache that guy has in the very back. Yeah,
Here,
he
let me
is
bring that up
rocking that
there.
proudly. My gosh.
Sorry, my autofocus is being
Very
kind of
good.
derpy, but
That's a stash and a half, my friends.
it's a power
Well,
stash.
since you're showing off workout tapes, I have to show off probably the most common workout tape there is, which has to be Richard Simmons Sweating to the Oldies.
Oh man, that's a classic.
It's got to be, yeah. So yeah, when I saw this, I'm like, I have to have it. The people on the back look like they are having the time of their lives. It's just, yeah. This is the main one that comes to my head. Like Warner Brothers actually put this out, so yeah, it was a big deal back in the day.
Pauly Shore was wanting to do he was wanting to play Richard Simmons in a movie, and I think that would be great. He would be perfectly cast to play Richard Simmons.
I don't know why he wouldn't do that. Yes.
To stay in the theme of older people, I have, and I have trouble with anxiety and depression a lot. So I like to calm my mind with Tai Chi for seniors.
Oh, Jesus. What is that guy doing on the front cover?
Yeah. Okay. Look at it. Look. He's popping a mean senior chub, which means I think his chi is flowing in all the right areas for sure. And look how happy that gal is in the back. She got a little strut going on.
And she can't even see the short shorts yet.
Unfortunately, this tape is not as much fun to watch as it is the covers. The funniest part about it.
Right.
It's not something I'm going to pop in and watch on a Sunday. You know,
that's a hell of a cover. That's for dang sure. Let's see here. For me, it's about holiday time. We're done with Halloween, so it's Christmas time. It's Christmas mode now, right? Who doesn't want to watch a random Christmas episode of Little House on the Prairie? Doesn't that just get you in the mood?
Hey, that's my mom's dude. I swear I used to say he was my father because my mom loved that Michael Landon so much.
This is probably the only shot of Michael Landon in the snow in that entire episode. And they're like, we need to put something on the front cover. There it is. Let's put a wreath around him too. Whatever works.
It's the type of stuff you'd find on like a blank tape, like one of them like 6-hour long blank tapes that somebody recorded off TV. There's a lot of Little House on the Prairie on those, it seems, that people love recording.
One of the labels that I found on here that I haven't thought of in a long time, Good Times.
Good Times, yeah. Good Times Video. I like their logo. It always brings me joy when it pops up.
Yeah, it looks like just a nice neon sign just glowing in the dark. Yeah, good stuff.
I wouldn't mind a Good Times thing in the back here.
That'd be good, yeah. I'd like that.
I feel like I'm really hammering this senior thing. This is my last senior tape. So, but I like to say that I actually take this tape to the bar with me.
Oh, boy.
Dancing Granny's Mature Fitness.
For beginners, though, okay? We don't want to go too crazy now.
Dude, this thing is hard. I tried doing this from beginning to end. I thought it'd be a funny video. I could not keep up with these ladies. These ladies are a lot more limber. They're a lot more tough. And this is actually a fun watch. Like, you will laugh from beginning to end. If you're at a party, that's why I take this to the bar with me. I like to get pictures with people because they don't know what to think about it. And it's a nice icebreaker. You know, you go up to some gals you fancy and you're like, hey, can I get a picture with you with Dancing Grannies? And everybody wants to participate in that because it's silly and people love silly bar stuff. So.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, something that goes along with bars and is hosted by a senior citizen would be Jerry Springer. There were so many of these tapes. Too Hot for TV. You watched it on TV censored. If you want to have those blurred lines unblurred, you got to pick this up for sure.
Man, I bet that's a treat from beginning to end.
Oh my goodness. I have not popped the sucker in, believe it or not, but I should. I have not
watched
you
should treat yourself. I bet that's a good watch.
Absolutely.
I feel like we've been neglecting your chat, but let me show something real quick here. I don't know why I love this tape so much. I think I saw Lunch Meat post it first, and I knew I had to get me a copy.
Okay.
But it's called The New Video Aquarium. It's just 2 hours of really loud aquarium footage. And it's not, you think it would be peaceful sounding, but whoever had the mic way too close to whatever they were recording, and it's very jarring to listen to. So
Jesus. No, whenever I think of those type of like ambient noise ones, I think of like a fireplace during Christmas. Like I remember so many of those VHS tapes.
Oh,
But
that's
yeah,
how the pumpkin one is. It's just like a pumpkin still image, or not still image, but it lights up and stuff. But that's
sure,
all it is. It's just like those Yule logs or whatever.
sure. Yeah. Well, here are the chats that we had left. We have Jordan definitely saying what's a few questions. What's my favorite movie of 2023 so far? Um, I would probably Oppenheimer is still my favorite. I enjoyed that movie quite a bit. Now that the strike's over, I can talk about that type of stuff.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize you were an actor. I did not know that about you.
I'm not an actor. I just try to, stand with them, all that jazz and stuff.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I
Mhm.
have actor friends, so I totally get it. I've been in stuff, but I wouldn't call myself an actor. I'm more of a
Sure.
I get killed in horror movies sometimes.
Oh man, that sounds great. I would love to die on tape at some point in my life. That'd
It's
be
all I
amazing.
ever wanted. I don't ever want to be a main character or a main player. I just
Right.
want to be a character, a bit actor that comes on, gets killed, and that's that.
Right. I think I've acted once and I got shot in that movie, and that's like my claim to fame because he was very impressed with how I died. I'm like, okay, very cool.
Hey, I think a body actor, I like to call him, a body actor is just as important as the faces. So
I was the main villain in that movie. It was very very fun time. Your birthday's coming up soon. Well, happy early birthday, Jordan.
let's get him going.
Happy birthday, Jordan.
Happy birthday!
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, geez.
Oh, I feel like I should make him something here. We'll make him something here.
A birthday candle. There you go. Ta-da. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, you're not on the dark web. No, not on the dark web just yet. We're still on YouTube. We're still being clean here.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything for the lunar community right now or anything.
So what are you attempting to make here on your balloon animal, Mike?
I was trying to make a wiener dog, but I already made the snoot way too big. So I don't know, man.
Some dogs have long faces. I think you're good.
Okay, this is a pretzel dog.
Hey!
Yay!
Applause!
I'm
Very good.
not a balloon animal maker. I just like to make them for comedic purposes. I have
Right.
no talent at it whatsoever.
I mean, if you're an expert balloon maker, that is pretty comical to begin with.
I'm actually afraid of people with special skills like that. There's something about it. Like I met a girl and I thought she was a perfect 10, but she juggled and I couldn't wrap my head around that. I was like, why does that bother me so much? I'm really neurotic, and for some reason that was the deal breaker. The fact that she
The
juggled.
juggling. See, I'm always impressed if people know how to juggle because I have tried and I have failed miserably every time I've tried. I think I can get two good, but throw a third one in there, nope, can't do it.
Well, it's just like she didn't have any other skills. That was her only thing
Oh,
special about her was she
sure.
could juggle, and I don't know why that was a red flag for me.
Well, if that's the only thing she's good at, that's really not something to look forward to. That's for dang sure.
I think when you're not interested in somebody, you're going to be annoyed by everything they do.
Yeah,
So
find
that's
any
just
type
the
of
way
red
that-
flag you can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're like, I hate anything you do.
Yeah. Well, before we go on to more tapes, what steel books do you have, Mikey? That's the
I
question.
only have two. And they're not even here yet. I ordered the Mutant Mayhem and I ordered Into the Spider-Verse. So
Nice, yeah.
I know this is a Steelbook show, but I don't like to lie and say I know about things that I don't know. So I will tell you, I'm a complete newbie to Steelbooks.
Sure.
I'm excited to learn more. So
Yeah. Well, if you have a Walmart next to you, they are coming in with like a steelbook section. It should be in the majority
Hey, I'm on board.
of them. Yeah, it should be in the majority of them like January, February of this year, or of next year.
It was the first thing I saw that kind of triggered that same love I have for VHS. I love big, colorful covers.
Yeah.
And when a Steelbook's displayed face out, it looked so gorgeous. Yeah, you can bring one in. And so I that sold me the artwork and everything. And the fact you could put on a magnet board, I was like, oh, I got room for that,
Yeah. The first time I even knew what a steelbook was, I was going to Target to buy Django Unchained because I loved that movie.
Yeah, that's an awesome movie.
And I saw this. And I love simple artwork like this that's striking. And I picked it up and I'm like, oh, this is made out of metal. That's bizarre. And ever since then, I've just like had a deep dive
great.
into steelbooks. Yeah. No, I love steelbooks because you can kind of just like put different artwork on there and it stands out. And It's good
and
stuff.
they feel very uniform. I like that about. I mean, VHS isn't even remotely. Every taste feels like
Sure.
they have 400 different ways they've made covers from big boxes, clams, library cases, little lock cases, you name it. There's a gimmick.
Right.
So they don't display very well, but I think steelbooks display really nicely.
The only oddball one that I had as a kid was that Indian in the cupboard one that had the key to open up the clamshell.
I just opened that up on a channel because I still had the key and everything, and I said on the episode I'm going to lose the key. I just know it, and I've already lost the key.
Yeah, easy to do. I did it as a kid. I could see it doing it as an adult too, for sure.
It's real easy for me. If I don't have stuff in front of me, I forget it exists. So
pretty
just
much
part of my head stuff I got going on.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. Let's do a couple more tapes because I think I only have like 2 or 3 more. So I think it's just the video game ones that I have.
Are you a dog or a cat person?
I've got a dog. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, mostly a dog.
This is a video for your dog. You can play it for your dog, and it's stuff you enter. It's like hydrants and mailmen and all the stuff that a dog wants to see. And
Jesus, that's amazing. Bowls of food.
I have tried playing. I have 2 of these. I have tried playing this for my dog, and she could care less. But
sure, no. Sometimes I put on like YouTube clips for my dog and does not care one bit. They're just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
you're appeasing yourself more than you're appeasing me.
I think sometimes that's you just do it for you.
Right. Well, let's see here. I will show off the 2 other tapes that I have for video games. I have a Star Fox one.
Oh, do a barrel roll.
I'll do a barrel roll around and you can kind of see everything on here. The Rumble Pack is real, okay? It's new. See how it feels. Good stuff.
I love me a good Rumble Pack, man.
Right. And then the last one I have, it's the oldest one that I have. And the cover isn't that cool, but the game is very cool for it. We got
oh my God. I love that's a great game too. God, you have great taste in games and tapes. So
right. Again, yeah. I'm a big Nintendo fanboy. I have been forever. So yeah, I saw these and I'm like, okay, best of both worlds. It's got Donkey Kong Country Exposed.
The dark secrets of the Kong world.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I like Super Nintendo. It's my favorite of all the consoles. So I do have a handful of Super Nintendo stuff. But I don't have any cool Super Nintendo tapes, which bums me out. But let's see what else.
Yeah. You'll find it. Okay. Show off whatever ones you want to show off now. The floor is yours, Mikey.
Okay. We got well to stay in the theme of the for in case you got any cat people, I have the same thing called the Cat Sitter.
Ooh.
And it's just an hour of cat footage. And I kind of wish it was 2 hours because cats, they could probably use a little bit more time to kind of simmer with this, but
of course.
I don't have any cats because I'm allergic, but I still think it's a cool tape. Let's see. And I got the O.J. Simpson's workout.
Oh, no. Behind the scenes footage.
As what's funny about this was filmed before the incident. Let's call it the incident.
Yep.
And so there was some footage that they weren't going to release, but once he got in trouble, they added that footage in of his takes. So there's a lot of takes in this that make him look really bad.
Of course.
Like they incriminated the shit out of him. What's that?
It's subpoenaed, right?
Yeah, subpoenaed. They repackaged it and kind of resold it with all the new takes. So
that's amazing.
But it was clearly shot before the incident.
Sure.
But I don't know. It's a treat. He's not in it as much as you would think, though. It's mostly another guy, and he just kind of comes in and high fives him and goes, "Well, show him how it's done,"
Mm-hmm.
He talks about how he doesn't drink anymore and doesn't do any of that stuff. And we're like, all right, OG, we know you've been drinking,
Right. No, that's the stuff that I want in my collection are weird little oddities like that. An OJ Simpson tape, just him. What was it? Just like showing his house or something?
No, it's a workout video.
Oh, that's a workout tape.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
They teach you how to get in shape like OJ.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
But nothing good. No like stabbing, stuff like that or anything. Should have brought my shake weights, but let's see. I got the Ninja Turtle tunes.
Nice. I've seen a lot of different turtle tapes. Like I've seen like their live concert one. I didn't know that one was a thing.
Oh yeah, Turtle Tunes is a blast. I don't know if it was their first one. It might have been their first one. I know the costumes get progressively worse as these come out, but
right. It's just them singing to like modern hits, I'm assuming.
No, they kind of make up different songs about being in the sewer or like being in love with April. Some of it's really bad and almost sounds like some modern sensibilities might be like some things they sing about offend me, and I'm like, man, I don't get offended by anything. But it's just a very dated concept. So it's hard to skirt around things on YouTube without saying the things out loud. But this is called Operation Blue Line. It's another Ninja Turtles thing.
I've seen that one. Yes, that's amazing.
This is them on the Metro. This was a promotional video for the Metro subway. And it's very bizarre, and for some reason is worth a stupid amount. And I don't understand why, but
because it's got Ninja Turtles on it, doing things that they shouldn't do. It's amazing.
I love it. It's a silly little romp, but the price tag amazes me.
Right.
I think I got one more here. Let's see. Oh, I got two more. I'll start out with this one. This is for the diabetes meme. This is what the tape it's from. Diabetes.
Wilford Brimley.
This guy says it about 400 times in here. So if you need additional diabetes meme footage, you could dive deep into this.
Man.
And this last one is a little bit more of a downer note, but I always have a soft spot for people that struggle with depression and anxiety and things like that. And Matthew Perry recently left due to complications with drugs and alcohol. I'm not a big Friends guy, but I still wanted to support him. And I feel like you live forever if you're on physical media of any type.
Yes.
So I got this funny Windows 95 video guide, and it is an absolute treat from beginning to end. And I'm going to cover it on my channel.
That's amazing. Does it only have those two people from Friends? I saw Jennifer Aniston on there too.
They're the only ones that show up, but there's a bunch of other just strange cameos. This thing's a blast. I don't think there's anything cool on the back, but
I'm excited
to see Windows 95 footage too.
Right. No, I'm excited to see that video. That thing is like peak 90s stuff. I can't wait to see like what random celebrities pop in there.
It's something.
That's going to be very good. What else is something is the movie that you had me watch for today, which is Street Trash. I mean, oh my God. We'll dive a little bit more into that, but before we do, I kind of want to get people in the zone of Street Trash. So I have a trailer to play. It's about 2 minutes. Let's play some Street Trash.
I don't need this.
Are you tired of the same old routine?
My wife, my
busting
business.
your hump and getting nowhere?
This just ain't my day.
The boss, is he always on your back?
Nice, my ass belongs in your chair, not in your lap, which is where you keep trying to put it, you bastard!
The wife, and the kids.
Is that right?
They never listen.
I hate to see him pissing his life away in them goddamn computers.
Do you ever feel like forgetting the whole thing?
You think I got it easy?
Well, now you can.
I'm talking about life!
Drop out and join the ranks of the few. The filthy. The trash.
I got my own place, a condominium.
Where else can you live for free? And eat for even less? Well, be forewarned. Freedom has its price. Yes, there's always a snake in the Garden of Eden.
What you got for me today?
Today? Tenderfly Viper. $1.
Here's to you, pussy. Don't drink my Viper. Watch.
What's the matter? You can't hold your liquor, huh?
Street trash. It's easy to find us. We're all over the place. Street trash.
Oh, Street Trash. Oh my gosh.
I always got to watch Street Trash in multiple sittings. I can never watch it all the way through. I always got to, I got to like watch 10 minutes of it and go, okay, I'm going to go get a palate cleanser for a little bit and come back. Cause you always feel dirty just watching it.
I'm in my mid 30s with 2 kids. Any movie that I watch, I feel like I have to watch in segments because either I don't get enough free time or when I do, I fall asleep on my lazy boy over there. So this one took me about 2 or 3 times to get in to finish the entire thing. And I don't know if I can sit through the entire thing in one sitting because this movie is a lot. I feel like it's trying to offend anybody that watches it.
Well, it was literally its whole purpose was to offend people of the 80s, which is very hard. And it's even more offensive today. So if anything, it's doubled down on the offensiveness with modern sensibilities, which some I enjoy the changes. Some of them are good. And, some I'm not a fan of, but I don't know. I just feel like everybody should have to watch it once. So if you come to my house, it's probably going to be one of the first movies I play for the party. So.
Oh wow. Okay. That very bold choice. I've had this in my collection for a couple of years. So when you said this is the one you wanted to watch, I'm like, okay, let's try it. Earlier on in like the second episode I did of this podcast, I watched Blood Diner for the first time. Absolutely loved that movie. I was hoping the same thing would happen with Street Trash, and on my first viewing, I don't think that's the case, just because there is a lot like this movie's named Street Trash, and it kind of lives up to that hype. Like it is gross. It is all over the board. Like you don't root for anybody in this movie. And that was like my main sticking point is just like everybody here is disgusting. It's hard to just keep a focus on all of that negativity, I guess.
Well, they set up so many characters and then they don't really do anything with them.
Yes.
You might see them in a scene or two being a pervert or something. But they don't follow up a lot. Even the heroes barely in the movie. He comes in and out, like he kind of weaves in and out of the story as a wacky pie stealing hobo. He doesn't steal any pies, but I think that's what they're going for with him. But I don't know. It's just a hard watch, but I love the practical effects in it though, and the colorful blood and I want more of that though. That's my only complaint is I want to see even more gross out explosions, more slime, because every time it's on the screen, I'm glued. I'm like, this is awesome.
That's the main reason why I rated it so highly. Like I rated it. It would have been a 1 out of 5 if it wasn't for the practical effects on display.
I don't expect people to love it by any means.
No, I mean the amount of color that pops. Like I watched this on Blu-ray. You watched it on VHS. So I don't know how your transfer looked, but even though this was as crispy as this type of movie should be, the pops of color were amazing. And every person that got affected by the Viper that they were drinking was a different color. And it all looked wholly unique anytime anybody died because of it.
Oh, it looks great. I mean, this is a real clean copy on VHS. So, I mean, it was made for this stuff. So it looks perfect on tape, but it's just a hard viewing for the average person. And you said you got a family. I can't imagine having a kid walk through during any of it. Literally, like everybody's so gross. Everybody does grapey things that I'm not into. I don't like that in a film. And again, I don't know why I recommend it to so many people, but to me, it was because it was one of those movies we would pick up at this video store called Jack's Video. And he always had the sickest, grossest tapes. He didn't have stuff. He had stuff that Blockbuster would never have in a million years.
Sure.
And it was one of the tapes he would kind of slide your way, like, check this out. You know, he loved to give you something sick.
Right.
I don't know if it was because we were the only ones that would rent it, but his eyes would light up when he'd hand you a tape like that.
Sure. No, I had a mom and pop store like 10 minutes away from my house. I was too much of a scaredy cat to go into any type of horror stuff. I think the first horror movie I ever watched was Maximum Overdrive when I was like 13 years old.
Hey, that cover artwork, 13 though.
That cover artwork got me. Like that's the one I wanted to kind of lose my V card to, my horror V card, and I loved it as a kid. I thought it wasn't super scary, and there were a lot of dumb, fun laughs in it. Yeah, I still have a good time with that movie.
I think that'd be a good gateway horror film. I unfortunately got started with The Exorcist, so that was not a good gateway film. I was 6 years old, and I was not ready for that. of course, now I watch it and it's fine. But, as a 6-year-old kid, it's the scariest shit you ever seen.
Right. I still remember VHS tape memories. I watched it was a Disney VHS tape, and at the very end of it, there was a trailer for a board game to the TV show Gargoyles. And the person that was talking on there scared the fuck out of me. And I just could not go to sleep because I just had it on. I fell asleep when I was having it on. And then I woke up to this horrifying voice, this voiceover guy, and I was just terrified. I was such a scaredy cat as a kid.
The spell is broken and we live again. It's probably Keith David, 100%.
I would think so too. Yeah.
Unless it was Xanatos, the guy that played Riker on Star Trek. I can't think of his name. Jonathan Frakes. I don't know. I couldn't think of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Both of them excellent voice actors on that cartoon. I have that exact VCR game right over here on my other collection. But
nice. Yeah. Do you have a bunch of like the VCR board game stuff? I had a couple as a kid, but I don't have any still. That's like,
oh my God, I got so many. I've been wanting to make that as another thing on my channel to show off, but unfortunately they require friends. And I need a buddy that wants to both be on video, also is entertaining, and somebody that actually wants to hang out. So it's, you need them for a couple hours to film something.
I was going to say you could do it with like different puppets and stuff, acting as the different people. That would be entertaining.
That's half the reason I have puppets is I don't have too many friends. So
you got to make that VHS crab so you can be a part of the gang. That'd be great.
Because I'm the weirdest guy in my town. I was really cool where I was from in Ohio, but I just brought my same Mikey-ness here, and these people were like, "Whoa, this guy's a bit out there." And I swear I'm a kind person, and I don't understand why they judge me so poorly. But
whenever people like things that aren't in the norm, they're always kind of looked outwards from. I have been there plenty of times myself. Like right now I'm wearing like a random Strangers Slipknot mashup t-shirt. And yeah, people are just like, what is that? That's not them. What are you talking about?
I'm just glad you still got a band on your shirt. A lot of guys our age, they just start wearing black shirts with nothing on it. Right. And at least put a band on it or a cool horror movie or something,
I live in Iowa, so it's acceptable to have Slipknot stuff in Iowa.
Cool.
It's totally fine.
I live in a dusty old town in Oklahoma, and it is not as cool.
Sure. But what is cool about street trash, going back on this, the practical effects are by far the best part, but there is a lovely 5-minute tidbit in this movie that I would suggest watching by itself, and that is the convenience store scene.
He's great in that.
Where he's shoving so many things in his pants, just trying to steal it and get out, and he gets caught, and that scene is amazing. It's hilarious from start to finish.
I think you called them magical pants, and I like that about it.
Because, he shoved so many things in there. He was shoving cantaloupes. He was shoving probably 30 pounds of chicken down there.
I had buddies like that. You'd go to the gas station, and we were all poor, and you'd leave, and my buddy would have a whole pocket full of hot dogs, and we were hungry, so we were like, we love pocket dogs. We get all excited that he got us some pocket dogs. You ain't lived till you had a pocket dog, man. Piping hot, pocket warmed, perfect, ready to go.
No, I guess I haven't lived yet, Mikey. I don't, man.
I had hoodlum friends. Like I said, I can't stress how poor we were. So this might seem like strange behavior to the people we are as adults. But when I was a teenager, I was a lot more wild. And all my buddies were way wilder than me. I was the good one with them. But I still didn't say no to them pocket dogs, though. Those are good.
They're too damn tempting.
You might have to pick some lint off them or something, but
right.
I don't have a pink one. I thought I had a pink one I could have showed you, but
I was gonna say that kind of looked like a hot dog right there. Did you just pull out a pocket dog, Mikey?
Yeah, it's kind of like a pocket dog. You just
Well, what other things do you want to talk about street trash? Because there's not a lot of positives that I have about this thing. Like the other thing I have, I don't know how they built this tire hut of a house, but that looks great. Like if I was a hobo, I would love to live there.
The movie shot surprisingly well. The guy went on to shoot a bunch of things like Titanic, and he didn't shoot Titanic, but he was one of the camera guys in it, and he did a bunch of other major films that you would never imagine that a guy on Street Trash worked on.
Yep, on Terminator 2, like there's a lot of great like camera and stuff he worked. Like it's insane the career he had. This is the only movie that he actually directed. He directed a short of this that got turned into a movie.
He did. There's even like an Evil Dead style tracking shot where it made it feel like there was a supernatural element to it, even though they didn't pay that off at all.
Right. It just kind of seemed like this was his time to show everybody what he could do with a camera. And he went balls to the walls, even if it made sense or not. Like I remember a shot to where the camera does a literal 360 for no reason, but it's still cool to see because it's very unique.
Well, maybe he just needed it for a demo reel or something. Apparently he got jobs. So
yeah, it worked. Yeah. Congratulations.
I've been there, I've been in movies with a bunch of buddies, and you just kind of make it up as you go. There might be a script, but it gets thrown out the window pretty quick when you start filming because stuff you wrote down doesn't really work in real life. And I think there was a little bit of that going on just because he was so new at directing.
Right. One cool thing that I like about Blu-rays are special features. Synapse Films has a bunch of special features on their stuff. There's a 2-hour making of documentary on here.
Oh, and what did you learn?
More than I ever wanted to know. But one of those things was that they pretty much threw the script out. And this movie is like 50-50 script and ad lib. And
because you can kind of tell just watching it.
It kind of shows for sure. Yes.
This does not have any cool special features.
Right.
Usually there's like a little something at the beginning. This just jumps right into the movie. So I was a bit let down by the VHS copy, except for it looks great. And that's all you really need it to do. But I do love them special features. And a lot of people associate it with Blu-ray and DVD. But sometimes VHS has some too. Like a Full Moon's Video Zone. I still get excited when I hear the music for those.
See, I didn't pull that clip because I was never really I've never heard that before. Like you kind of showed me what it was, but yeah, it was always a treat whenever you popped into VHS, you watched the movie, you watched all the credits, and then there's something extra at the end. So good.
There was like a little mid-credit scene, which made me think of a Marvel movie, but
yes,
nothing really happens in it too much.
See, that first scene at the restaurant, that was all ad-libbed, and the director liked it so much that he threw a mid-credit scene in here. Like it wasn't supposed to be there, but he's like, I like the rapport you guys have together. I'm just going to make this scene up really fast. And that guy that's in there, the valet, I just watched Frankenhooker for the first time. He's the main character in Frankenhooker.
Oh, I didn't even piece that together. That's awesome.
It's very cool. I'm like, I know that guy from somewhere, and I did some research. I'm like, oh, okay, this makes all the sense in the world. That's why I know that guy. But he's like the only recognizable actor I know in this movie.
I actually don't have Frankenhooker, which is really weird. You think out of everything I'd have that tape, but I love that movie. I just don't own it.
Yeah, no, Frankenhooker was a nice surprise. Street Trash, I'm not sure. It had nice practical effects.
Like I said, everyone has to go through it once. That and Blood-Sucking Freaks. I feel like everyone has to be subjected to those two movies, and then we can watch whatever you want to watch.
Yeah. See, I'd never heard of Blood-Sucking Freaks, but I know that Vinegar Syndrome just put out a 4K of that movie.
I watched it with the horror host, Dr. Creep. He had a 24-hour movie-thon, and you go and meet Dr. Creep and hang out with him and watch movies all night. And he just got done. I think he had a bunch of surgeries at the time. He was starting to get old by this time. And I always associate Blood-Sucking Freaks with Dr. Creep. And it was I felt like I got to spend some time with that man before he passed. So
sure.
Doing something he loves so much.
Right. Hi, Tiana. How's it going?
What up? What up?
Popping up random comments as they come on.
Yeah.
One thing. Tiana, yay!
One thing I love. Hyped up for your crowd.
Yes, absolutely. Anytime. One thing I love about physical media is whenever it has physical goodies thrown into it. One cool thing about this release, it actually had stickers for Viper on it.
So you can put them, make your own little hooches.
Right. Yes. Or give it to your friend. One funny thing about this movie is that the main character finally gets the $1 Viper hooch that he's been craving the entire movie, and he figures out that it actually kills people when they drink it. So he just is like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to my enemies and have them drink it." That was a very fun part. So I would put these as props and do the exact same thing.
I think it's great. Although, what's your theory on what Viper was? Was it just expired liquor? Was it something dark and mystical, or was it toxic waste or something?
Well, on the bottle, I know because the label's on here. It said it was made in 1924. So I don't know where he got it. It's been in a crate forever. My gut is just saying it's really old hooch that got too fermented and it's doing things to people. But yeah, I'm not sure. What do you think?
I think it had a toxic waste element to it because at the time, toxic waste was a big worry with people, and it was like a theme with a lot of different movies.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the blood was like blue and yellow and all these crazy colors, it just screamed almost like a trauma movie. Like I felt if someone had said this took place in Traumaville, I would have been like, oh yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I kept waiting for Toxie to show up.
Yep. Nope. I was kind of thinking the same thing. I just watched a couple of those movies for the first time, and I'm like, yeah, this is in the same world, even if it's technically not.
But yeah, I wish it was. I wish it was a trauma movie. But unfortunately, it is not. It's just a weird movie with a bunch of awful people and hobos and toxic waste.
Very awful people. And when we first started talking about this, if it's trying to offend everybody, it did the job because there was one scene that didn't feel like it needed to be in this movie. It felt like a totally different movie. I think you know what we're talking about.
I'm not a big fan of any kind of I mean, I don't mind in a slasher movie if a female gets killed, but I don't like that type of conduct with a female.
Yes, the grabbing and everything.
I'm not into that at all.
Terrible.
But, people were weirdos back in the day, and the more darker and messed up it was, the more people wanted to watch it. But yeah, I could have done without that scene entirely.
Yes, I agree. One thing I do like about my horror movies are the kills, and I have to know, Mikey, which kill in this movie is your favorite?
I like the exploding hobo, like because it's the farty sound effects. I think they play them like 40 times, but the same sound. As a sound guy, I always pick up when I hear the same sound effect multiple times.
This movie likes its farts. That's for sure. There's probably 10 different scenes of flatulence in this movie. It's crazy.
I wonder if he had just a big tape of flatulence, or if they were recording them live while filming this movie. I have no idea.
I don't either. I mean, in the first 90 seconds, there's a fart joke in there, like him bobbing and weaving to try to steal some hooch right behind the manager, and he just rips one right in his face, and he didn't know he was there.
Yeah, I can't figure out if it was trying to be a comedy or if it was trying to be just weird or what they were going for. But sometimes it'd be funny, and sometimes it'd be kind of dark, and sometimes it'd be really uncomfortable.
I don't think this movie knows either. I think it was just like swinging for the fences for everything and not a lot stuck at all.
Like when they're throwing the peen around.
Oh man, yeah, that was a scene for sure. And in 1080p, that peen does not look great. It just looks like a baton with like a little head on top.
The crazy thing is they made 3 different ones for that movie. There was like the hero peen, which is a lot bigger for the aerial shots.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, who would even think to make multiple for that? That director did. That's why he's awesome. He thought of that stuff,
Man, the crazy thing to me is that this movie had a budget of $500,000.
That's insane.
It does not seem like it at all from this thing.
I probably, having been part of productions, a lot of it goes to feeding your crew.
Yeah.
People just can, like, if they're not on scene, they're just eating the whole time.
And there were a lot of characters in this movie. That's for sure.
So they were all probably eating in between every shot, unless he was filming with just a handful of people at a time each day.
Yeah.
But still, if you're not on camera, you're eating.
I bet they weren't eating pocket dogs either, Mikey.
No, probably no pocket dogs. They probably had real crafty, but
what a shame. My favorite kill in this movie is probably the toilet one, just because of the paint squirts that are happening in there are next level, and then we actually get like a little puppet coming out of the toilet.
The puppet's
too.
Nice. I like that.
It's amazing. Yeah,
I would love that for my trash can here.
Yes, that would be anytime like a practical effect like that pops up, it just like warms my heart. There's another one in here to where he's kind of like melting into the wall, where it just looks like one giant melted person. I like that one as well. That was a close second for me.
Well, I think the colorful explosion stuff stand out extra hard because the movie kind of has really drab color palette. Like throughout, even the people, they're kind of brownish gray, real dirty looking. So when those colors hit, you're like, whoa, you really feel those colors. I believe they're doing a remake of the movie, and I'm really curious how that's going to go.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're doing a remake, which is weird.
Wow.
I would not want to be in the shoes of the person if they mess that up.
Well, I don't know how you make this movie in 2023 or 2024. Whenever.
Well, I think you would cut out some of the more uncomfortable, poorly aged things and maybe ramp up the colorful blood explosions. That's how I would do it.
Still, like even a movie about hobos in today's day and age, I don't know how well that's going to play.
Yeah, that doesn't
still.
trend well either. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And this is all that movie is just like a hobo community.
I think you just got to make it and say screw. You just got to offend people and say screw them, because I don't know how you could do street trash otherwise. Because if you're going to if you're going to take the teeth off it, you're not going to have anything that resembles street trash. So,
right.
And with blood sucking freaks, before you watch that, I got to warn you: do not watch that with any family members around. It's the most ate up shit I ever seen in my life.
Duly noted. I don't have that in the collection yet. I thought about getting that as a blind buy.
I don't want to be there when you watch it. I don't want to sit through it again. It was fine with Dr. Creep. That's all I ever want to watch it. Just that once. That's enough.
One and done. Duly noted.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about this movie, like one of the last things I wanted to say is that even though I wasn't the biggest fan on a rewatch, normally if I watch a movie and I don't like it, I will take it out of the collection. This one I will not, because the kills are so imaginative, and that one scene in the convenience store was so gold to me that I want to have that in here just to see different bits and pieces. Like I think we talked about Dead Meat. If there was a Dead Meat episode on this, I would be a happy camper, because that's all I want to see is the kills.
It's probably really hard for him to cover. I'm amazed he gets away with what he does on his channel. YouTube seems to like him though, so maybe he could cover it, but I do know that he is sensitive to some of that stuff from just watching and knowing a little bit more about his personality. It's probably a reason why he hasn't covered it for sure.
Well, do you have any last words for the amazing street trash, Mike?
Make sure you torture your friends with it at least once, and be aware that the street trash community is a very ravenous community. And any ill-spoken words about it could yield your YouTube career ending.
Just random question: how much does that tape go for? Do you have like a ballpark?
Oh, I have no idea. I got it pretty cheap. Just one of them lucky, somebody needed some money really quick. Sure. I dropped a hundo on it, but I don't know what it's actually worth.
And see, like, for people that aren't in the know, there are some VHS tapes that go for a crazy amount of money. Like I see another one behind you, that video violence one. I'm like, wow,
yeah, that thing cost me some bank. I did have to shell out some bucks for this. This cost me, I want to say 300. Wow. And I think I even got a little overcharged on it, but because the box wasn't in as good a condition as I would have liked. But I'm still happy. It was one of those grails I wanted for a long time.
Right.
So I couldn't walk away from it.
Yeah, it's right out of reach for me, but I have the Terror Vision Video Violence 1 and 2 Blu-ray that they came out with. I still haven't seen them, but like, even though I haven't collected VHS for that long, that Video Violence one I know for a lot of people is a holy grail for sure.
Oh yeah, that and another one I'm fond of. I actually like watching this one more. Terror on Tape.
I haven't even heard of that one.
This one's a blast. It's a collection of just stories from other horror movies. Like it just shows clips, but is what makes it great is it has a crypt keeper type character who runs a video store. And he's like, my next terrifying tale, but he doesn't have a cool voice like that or anything. But he's playing that type of horror host, and that always brings me joy.
I wonder if that got re-released anywhere else, because I'm very intrigued by something like that.
And it's another one of those that I was dying to get a hold of, but I probably shouldn't even have it near my smoke machine, but I got a little protective sleeve on it. But
right, something that expensive, you want to make sure that there are no elements getting near that sucker at all.
Well, it survived the 80s and everybody smoked, so I think a little bit of smoke during my show probably isn't going to kill it any.
Right. Do you have any more Holy Grail pieces that you want to have for the collection?
Well, yeah, there's lots of stuff. There's this thing called, I think it's called Grill Skills. It was a Wendy's training video. And I've been begging to get this tape for years. I can't even find it for sale anywhere, but they have this really crappy rap in it about making shakes. And because it was supposed to train, people, new employees at Wendy's had to sit through this awful tape of people rapping and stuff about Wendy's. to try to learn them all the Wendy's methods of how to properly fill a drink or whatever.
Yeah.
It is cheese from beginning to end, and I must own it.
Yeah. I didn't grab this tape. I should have, but I worked at Hollywood Video like the
Oh my
year
God.
that
Holy shit, dude.
the
Sorry,
year
I mean
that
to
it
cuss.
closed. And when it closed, I helped like package everything up, and I made sure to grab the tape that taught you how to be an employee at Hollywood Video.
Oh my God. That sounds like,
It's the
dude, you
best.
need to do something. You need to make a video on that. I think it would blow up. Like everyone, I'm so jelly of it just hearing about it.
Right. And like it was cringe when I watched it for training because I'm like, I can't believe you have a VHS of this still. It's not like anything digital or DVD or anything. But yeah, watching it back now, it's like, oh yeah, video store memories just come flooding back in, you know?
It is so cool. You're a clerk, a video clerk. You don't meet many of those. And when I do, I'm like, ooh, I worship you.
Yeah. When I was in college, I wanted to make sure that I did a lot of like bucket list jobs. Like I did that. I worked at a movie theater that actually like ran film, so I know how to like feed a projector and all
I had that
stuff.
job too.
Yeah, there's a few jobs, and those are the two that I knew that I wanted to do sometime in my life. So I'm glad I did them before they all disappeared.
I did theater and drive-in, but I missed out on the movie store like clerk experience. They wouldn't hire me for the life of me. I tried so hard. You think Pocket Dog guy would be able to get a job real easy, you know?
Absolutely. Well, they didn't want you to be pocket candy guy, I don't think. There's a lot of that to choose from in there.
Oh, I'm sure we would have been the worst employees. They were smart not to hire us for sure.
No,
I think we all applied the same week.
Going back to Hollywood Video was like one of the best jobs I ever had. It was so many freaking movies. That's how I found out about Criterion Collection. I should make something with that video. I just don't know how niche.
Yeah, what are you doing, man? I'd be using that to pick up chicks. They'd be like, I used to be a video store clerk, you know. Like,
God.
Especially tape chicks, they will love you, man.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of tape chicks, Mikey.
Well, that's all right, man. They're very wonderful. They're like magical creatures. I love them.
No, I need to. I have not been to any type of like convention for physical media at all, and that's one of the bucket list things to do is to like go there and meet more like-minded people like myself in person. One of these
you
days
got
I'll
a channel. You got to be out promoting. You guys are hitting that convention circuit when you got time.
Absolutely, that's part of the plan.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you got a channel, so head it up.
I know, right? I need to do something, but I think that has been episode number 8. At the end of every episode, I like to promote what the next episode is going to be about and who the guest is going to be. And I'm taking a week off next week. I think I'm going to talk about my Criterion Collection stuff, but I won't have a guest on. But my next guest that I will have on is more VHS stuff, Mikey. Believe it or not, back-to-back VHS stuff. Yeah.
I'm about to tune in.
I will be talking to none other than Haunting Season. And we're going to talk about his collecting stories. He does primarily VHS tapes. He does a couple like thrifting stuff every now and again. But this is a guy just like you. I've been following forever on TikTok mostly. And I cannot wait to talk his ear off about his collecting journey and what type of crazy tapes he has too. And yeah, it should be a good time.
If I'm not already subbed, I'm going to sub to him because if you got a VHS channel and I don't know about it, I want to know about it. So let me know about it.
His channel isn't really a lot of VHS stuff. It's a lot of like horror based stuff.
Yeah, sounds awesome.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a good guy. And I cannot wait to kind of pick his brain just like I did for you, Mikey. I appreciate you being on the podcast tonight.
Hey, you're now my Steelbook Connect. So I'll be watching you for all my Steelbook news.
Absolutely. I will be here. Any questions you have, throw them my way. I know I will do the same for you for VHS.
Well, thank you, man. I still have a lot to learn, and I'm excited to jump into this new thing. So
sure. Well, do you have anything to plug before we leave here, Mikey?
Oh, well, my name's Mikey. I do a VHS YouTube channel. I'm VHS Mikey pretty much on any social media in the world because I made sure to lock that down. It's amazing how nobody wants that. But so if you want to see the kind of random shenanigans I get up to, just hit me up anywhere, literally.
Yeah. And I said it at the beginning. I'll say it at the end too. One of the most unique voices in this entire social media landscape that I've landed across. And I love every single video you make just because it is so wholly different and unique. And it grabs my attention every time, man.
Oh, thank you so much. I always get so embarrassed when people talk about
No,
it.
I get it. I'm the same way. But I had to gush just a little bit, Mikey.
Thank you so much. I'm just not used to kindness. I grew up in a place where people weren't like that. So thank you so much.
I always show generosity, especially. Yeah, that's enough gushing. This has been episode number 8 of Boutique Talk. Thanks again for everybody watching and listening. And until next time, I'll see you.